Up until very recently, Nerf blasters were considered inaccurate, but now I can warrant having a sight on my blaster thanks to this simple mod. So guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own homemade scar barrel. So scar barreling is pretty much putting fishing wire through a barrel, creating a rifled barrel that your dart will fly through, giving your dart spin, making your darts a hell of a lot more accurate. Now you can buy scar barrels from numerous vendors, but I've found that making some is very cheap and very effective as well. If you're on the fence about scar barreling, at the end of the video there's going to be a demonstration between having one and not having one, so definitely stick around for that, and let's get straight into the how-to. First you will need to choose a barrel material. You can use one of these three types: PVC, aluminum or brass. You will need two sizes, one the same size as your dart barrel, and one to slide over the top of your existing barrel. For example, you are going to be using brass, you will need 17/32 and 9/16. Only other part you will need is fishing wire. I use 0.4mm diameter wire, but you can up the diameter to about 0.6. I'm not sure where this diameter level will cap out though, but feel free to go ahead and experiment. To hold the two pieces together, you can either use epoxy or hot glue. You will need a ruler and a marker, and a Dremel or a cutting tool of some sort. For this mod to work, you will need to use a closed breech system blaster. They include brass breeches and CPVC or aluminium breeches. Start by cutting out your larger inner diameter piece. I use 60mm worth. Then an 80mm piece for your dart to fly through. This is also where our strings will be strung through. Alright guys, so for the next bit I'm just going to chuck the GoPro on and have the camera going as well, so I can explain this a little bit better. Because it'd be quite hard for me to explain doing narration. So now we need to measure how far our fishing wire will run from the tip to the base of it. So let's measure that out to 6 centimeters. So 6 centimeters in length, and on this scar 4mm. So let's mark from the tip on here 4mm in, and then we'll make that line go around that like that. 60mm, sorry. 6 centimeters down. Now we need to mark out 4 even slots. So as you can see on this scar barrel, there are 4 lines there that indicate where the wire is strung. So let's do that on our new piece. So I'm just going to go 1 like that, and then line it up, and then get them about even. There we go. And now, little trick, you can get your finger like this, and just pull it down like that. And there you go, there's your line without any ruling. That's the line we're going to follow. Cool, all marked out. So now, let's get our drill bit and drill it out. Okay, so grab your drill, and I'm going to be using a very, very small 0.5mm drill bit. And now the fishing wire I'm using, 0.4mm. Can go up sizes. I've heard 0.6mm is even better. So the thicker the gauge, the wire you do have, the better the accuracy. I'm not too sure where that'll cap out and where the darts won't want to go through, but 0.6 is pretty good, but 0.4 is pretty much like the standard. So I've got a big roll of it here for scar barrels. Don't think I'm ever going to need to get another one. Now we're going to drill on the points that we've made. So as you can see, the lines that we've made, we've made 8 points from ruling them, and they are going to be our drill points. So we can just drill through them now. Cool, so that's our 8 holes all drilled out. Now let's get to feeding that fishing wire through. So let's just get a good length of fishing wire because I'd rather have more than not have enough. Alright, so the way you're going to want to start this out is just find a point at the top of the barrel. So up here I'm going to choose this one. So we're just going to feed it in and through like that. Cool. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is tie a knot there. So just shoelace knot like that. And just pull it tight. Now that should hold. So now that one's tied, we're going to go from where we just did our double knots straight down to the port below it. So get your length and feed that through. And pull that tight as so. And now we're going to feed that back through like this. But once we've done that, we need to go to the opposite side. So we're going to go from this one to this port up here, creating the spiraling effect. And we don't need to tie this one off. I'm just going to simply thread it through like that, and then repeat from going from the top straight down to the bottom. Feed that through, and now pull that tight. And now this one should be locked in, which it is. And then go to the opposite one again up the top. Make sure you're pulling the wire tight, otherwise if it's not tight, it's going to have a very loose fit inside and the dart will not like that. Your barrel should resemble something like that at the moment. So we've gone from the top here, straight down, from this port here to this one, and then from this one straight down. So repeat those steps until you get back up to this port here. Cool, so now I'm finished tying around and my scar barrel is resembling the pattern. As you can see, the pattern like that. So I've got a bit left over and I can't really pull it tight, so I'm just going to get my grips here, pull it as hard as I can, and now that is very tight. They are not budging. So now to finish off, come back to this wire that you left and then do another double knot. I'm going to pull it tight. Like 2 grips of this one. So when stringing your wires, make sure they aren't going to overlap. They need to look like this to work. So when threading, make sure one doesn't go underneath or through each other and they're not intertwining. Otherwise they'll make big problems and you're just going to want to redo your wiring. There we go guys, there's my scar barreling string all put together, and then simply just to clean up the end, trim these off, and you can put a bit of epoxy on the end of the strings if you like, so they don't move, and then you go all strung up, and they aren't going to come loose because we've pulled them so tight. Lastly, glue or epoxy your two pieces together, and you're all done. Alright guys, so now we are back outside and here's the scar barrel that we just made. So I'm going to be doing 6 shots without the scar barrel and then putting it on to see if our accuracy has definitely changed. So let's do 6 shots first. Now my sight is dialed in very well, so this is pretty much dead straight where the dart should be going. Should be our final dart. Cool. So that is 0 out of 6. Now let's put the scar on. I've marked out where I dialed my sight in for the scar. There it is, about there. So whip out a fresh 6 and go again. 1. 2. 3, 4, just above it, because I was aiming just above it, but there you go. As you can see, 4 out of 6 shots, nearly 5, so the scar is definitely performing very well, and actually goes to show that you can use a sight with NERF darts and be very accurate with it. So guys, as you saw, very easy process and actually reaps some amazing results. My groupings are so much better now, hitting that box multiple times compared to when we first shot it without the scar barrel and not even hitting it at all. I found with Stefan darts that these only get even better with ranges and your accuracy. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, it really does mean a lot to me. If you want to catch up with me when I'm not making videos, check out my Facebook links and Instagram in the description. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.